You didn't land here by accident. You were led here on purpose. Right now, in this very moment, something bigger than you, something higher, place this message in your path because you're ready. Ready for the shift. Ready for the release. Ready for the next level that your spirit has been quietly preparing for all along. This isn't just another video. This is a divine intersection, a sacred moment. And if you're still here, it's because you're one of the few bold enough to recognize it. You've felt it, haven't you? That internal pressure, that quiet voice whispering, "There's more." That sense that something's about to break open, but only if you move when the signal hits. That signal is now. The door is open, and heaven is watching who has the courage to walk through it. This isn't for everyone, but it is for you. You're not average, you've been marked for something greater. And today, we're not just talking about it, we're activating it. So take a breath, lock in, and let this be the moment everything starts to align. Let's go unlock what's already yours. Some seasons don't fall apart because you're failing. They fracture because you're evolving. When the air around you grows thick with discomfort and nothing feels quite right anymore, it's not a sign you've lost your way. It's confirmation that your foundation is shifting. What once felt aligned now feels abrasive. What once felt like home now feels like a holding place. That's not confusion. That's clarity in disguise. If you've been touched by God's grace, let that light shine. Click the super thank you button and sow a seed of $50 or more to fuel a movement of faith and transformation. Your giving is more than a gift. It's a declaration of His abundance. Be a channel of His blessings and watch His work multiply through you. You've felt the shift. Conversations have lost their warmth. Familiar faces feel far away. The rhythms that once kept you grounded now feel like they're pulling you under. But that disruption isn't your downfall. It's your redirection. You're not being torn apart. You're being peeled back so the truth can breathe. The inner tension, the restless nights, the gnawing dissatisfaction. It's not burnout. It's breakthrough whispering. This chapter is closing. The friction surrounding you isn't chaos. It's calibration. When your spirit begins outgrowing the space you've been surviving in, everything starts pressing in, like the final stretch before a cocoon splits open. This is not spiritual stillness. It's transformation at full volume. You're not unraveling. You're being unrooted from what can no longer carry who you've become. This pressure isn't punishment. It's movement. It's your inner world refusing to pretend anymore. That pull to step back, to reevaluate, to let go. It's not fear. It's wisdom. The resistance you're facing isn't always from the outside. Sometimes it's your own readiness clashing with the cage of what's familiar. You've already outgrown the old roles, the old stories, the old ways of coping. That version of you is shedding, and it's uncomfortable because growth never asks permission before it begins. That tightening you feel isn't loss, it's alignment forcing truth to the surface. You've reached the edge of what your current space can offer. What once protected you now limits you. And though the exit feels uncertain, it's marked with your name. You're not walking away, you're walking forward. You're stepping into terrain that reflects the weight of your becoming. You're not meant to remain tethered to expired patterns. The unease is not a curse, it's an invitation. You are being released, not rejected, pushed, not punished, redirected, not discarded. The exit is not something to fear. It's the threshold to everything you've been preparing for. This is your summons to rise. Let the pressure reveal the passage. Let it lift you. Let it move you. The shift isn't coming, It's already here. There are moments when your evolution doesn't come wrapped in clarity. It arrives cloaked in discomfort. Things begin to shift without warning. What used to energize you suddenly feels heavy. What once felt aligned now feels like a slow fade. It's not failure, it's friction. And that friction is sacred. It's the internal cue that you're brushing up against a threshold. You're not breaking down, you're being pulled up. But elevation demands a release. Stagnation rarely announces itself with chaos. It disguises itself as comfort. It shows up as routines that feel safe, but slowly dim your fire. It's the quiet pull to remain where everything is predictable, even if it costs you momentum. That's the danger of the familiar. It's not loud, but it's binding. And if you're not careful, it'll convince you to protect what's familiar over what's true. The mind craves certainty, but the soul craves expansion. And when those two collide, something has to give. That internal tug you feel isn't just restlessness, it's your calling, stretching its arms. You're being invited to shed patterns that once served you, but now shrink you. The roles you played to survive, the overachiever, the fixer, the silent endurer, can't follow you through the next threshold. The invitation on your life doesn't ask for permission to disrupt. It just begins to untangle what you've outgrown. You'll notice conversations lose their spark, connections unravel quietly, and passions you once clung to start feeling foreign. That's not confusion, it's clarity in transition. You're not being pushed out, you're being pulled into what actually fits. And yes, it's going to challenge every part of you that's built identity around the known. But stability isn't always a sign of alignment. Sometimes it's a symptom of delay. Just because something is consistent doesn't mean it's correct. What once protected you may now be blocking your path. You weren't meant to stay tucked inside what feels cozy, but costs your calling. Release doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it's quiet, internal, and unseen. But that doesn't make it any less holy. When the old feels tempting and the new feels terrifying, that's when trust is tested. This isn't about chasing change. It's about responding to direction. The path forward requires space, and some things must be laid down, so your hands are free to carry what's coming. Don't confuse loyalty to your past with alignment to your purpose. The exit won't always feel dramatic. It might just feel like peace after a long stretch of noise. Let what no longer supports your growth fall away, not in anger, but in reverence. This isn't detachment out of bitterness. It's alignment born of awakening. The season you're stepping into won't tolerate what kept you small. The next chapter won't allow old echoes to write new lines. Let the release be your agreement with heaven that you're ready for more. Not just more in quantity, but more in truth. You're not leaving something behind. You're finally stepping into what's been waiting all along. Let go, not to escape, but to expand. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. Imagine your life like a great vineyard, and God is the master gardener. When he starts cutting things back, it doesn't mean he's punishing the vine. It means he's preparing it for greater fruitfulness. That shaking you feel, that pruning, it's not the end of something. It's the beginning of something more powerful than what you were holding on to. I know it feels like everything's falling apart. You're wondering, why now? Relationships that once felt solid are slipping through your fingers. Doors you were sure would open are locked tight. The places you used to thrive in now feel suffocating. People you poured into, they're disappearing. The strategies that once worked don't even move the needle anymore. and you're sitting there thinking, God, what is going on? Let me tell you what's going on. Divine disruption. This isn't punishment, it's protection. This isn't misfortune, it's movement. God's not trying to break you, He's shifting you. He's removing every crutch, every counterfeit, every comfort zone that was blocking your upgrade. See, when you prayed, Lord, take anything that's not for me, you probably expected a clean exit. But God's not in the business of soft landings when you're holding onto sinking ships. Sometimes He lets it collapse, so you have to walk away. You're not cursed. You're called. You're not being forgotten. You're being redirected. And yes, it's messy. Yes, it hurts. But pain is often the package that purpose is delivered in. God will let things dry up when He's ready to water you in a new place. You've outgrown where you are, and heaven knows it, even if you don't yet. The turmoil you're feeling isn't a mistake. It's the signal that your season has shifted. When God makes you uncomfortable, it's because He's getting ready to release you. He'll let the familiar fail, just to make sure you don't stay bound to what you've outgrown. That's love. That's grace. That's a divine exit. So don't fight the falling apart. Don't mourn what was never meant to last. Don't keep chasing open doors that God Himself has closed. You're being freed, not forsaken. You're being positioned, not punished. And when you finally stand in the space He's been clearing out just for you, you'll understand why the breakdown had to come before the breakthrough. Hold on, chosen one. The shaking isn't to scare you, it's to wake you. The gardener knows what he's doing, and what's coming next will be worth everything he cut away. Sometimes we put off going until we feel forced to, because we are too connected to our own expectations. So sometimes God provides us a change instead of a direct indication. That is not why He has placed you where you are. It is not a punishment. He is removing the aids, the crutches, and the diversionary tactics. He's using the pain to show you that you were never meant to be where you are. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $100 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. The blessing is not what is crumbling, but rather what is being exposed, the false support, the ulterior motives, and the weak foundations. If it can fall, it was never meant to be a part of your future. And that's the thing about disruption. It separates the fleeting from the permanent. You can see better through the storm, and the fire will focus your senses. Rather than trying to escape trouble, this exit is all about embracing destiny. Sometimes God has to break your heart before He can open your eyes. He knows what's beyond the doors can cause you to be delayed, distracted, or even lose sight of your purpose, so He sometimes shuts them even when you beg Him to open them. What you thought was a problem actually is a way forward, not to a simpler life, but to a higher one, from ease to insight, rather than comfort. Diffusing a situation is a great approach to get God's attention. Whenever God is ready to disclose His plans, He will disrupt your plans. And His plans are always greater, higher, smarter, and more aligned with your original purpose. In the end, the peace of joining the genuine will be greater than the pain of leaving the familiar. So, give in to the disruption. Let go of things that are crumbling under your weight. Leave it. Give it a chance to break. Permit it to wiggle. Simply put, everything is starting to fit together instead of disintegrating. A divine interruption may be the only thing that can rouse a sleeping calling at times. Rather than yelling, God sometimes eliminates. He removes what is no longer beneficial so that your soul can hear fresh. What if the thing you're bemoaning is the one thing holding you back from achieving your goals? Imagine if the things that seem like answers to your prayers were really God's way of protecting you. Instead of destroying you, what if the storm was supposed to motivate you to go for your dreams? This isn't the final chapter. It's the unraveling that brings you to being chosen one. No matter how random or cruel it may seem, the disturbance is really God's voice preparing the way for your greatest entrance and final departure. This final exit won't always be neatly packaged or make perfect sense. Why should I abandon what I know in favor of an unknown? Can be a query that's brewing deep within you. In favor of something nebulous and unpredictable, you may feel as though you're abandoning stability, familiarity, and security. Even while the way out may appear untidy and silly to everyone around you, the problem with divine assignments is that they seldom fit into the neat categories that society considers safe or acceptable. Don't let logic be your guiding light in life. Faith and reason do not always coexist. Faith hikes can be intense and full of surprises. The final exit will stir your spirit, but test your thinking. God will meet you where you are, even when you are thrown into the unknown and your feeling of security is shattered. Neither intelligence nor careful planning will be enough to unlock this door. Only trust will do. In relationships or situations where other people appear happy, God may be asking you to go. Some others may not understand. They may question why you uprooted from what appears to be a safe and happy situation. But the reason you're letting go of it is that you are the selected one, and not just any ordinary person. At this crossroads, you can't let your rational mind guide you any longer. You must instead follow your heart. The world will tell you to be careful and weigh all of your options, but having faith requires you to obey instead of being sure. What God really wants from you when He gives you the green light to go is trust that there is more than you can imagine waiting for you beyond the other side of the door. Not a detailed plan, map, or vision. Being obedient is risky even when your logic wants clarity. Following God's will requires trusting that all things you need have been provided for in advance. God encourages action, not hesitation, and faith requires us to act even when we can't see the whole road ahead. Do not wait for the full blueprint. A shift is what God is asking you to do, and it will help you see things more clearly. All the reason in the world won't be enough to prepare you for what's beyond that door. You have a future ahead of you that goes beyond what you can see right now, but it's all prepared specifically for you. It's not just a matter of geography. You're actually climbing a ladder of faith. When you follow your own logic, you proceed at your own pace. But when you follow God's perfect plan for your life, you walk in divine timing and rhythm. Forget about attempting to understand everything. It was always meant for you to go this way, even before you could see it. If you have faith and keep going, you'll discover something amazing waiting for you beyond what you could have imagined. As you near the entrance, don't be surprised if the resistance becomes greater. It may appear as though every obstacle is conspiring against you. Your naysayers will grow more vocal, your bad habits will return, and the obstacles you fought so hard to conquer will try to hold you back. People will wonder why you made certain decisions, and you might even begin to question your own judgment. But I must stress that what we are seeing here is friction, not failure. The antagonist is attempting in vain to stop you from deciding your own fate. As you get closer to the breakthrough, the resistance will get stronger. It appears like the enemy forces know what's beyond that door and are determined to stop you from getting there. The moment you decide to let go of the past, the challenges appear to multiply. This is not an accident. This is how your opponent works. He tries to throw you off your game, put it off, and make you feel discouraged. In reality, his fighting intensity increases as you draw nearer, and this is not an indication of defeat, but of imminent triumph. One could mistakenly believe that the conflict is a sign of a bad decision, or that they are not meant to participate if they encounter resistance. On the other hand, pushback shows that you're making progress. This is evidence that you are engaged in a meaningful endeavor, one that will enhance your life and drive you ahead. Effort is required for everything of value. Revolutions can't happen without conflicts. The only way to progress is to face our fears and do things that are scary. At this same moment, when opposition is at its peak, you are being cleansed. Your determination and focus will be tested by every obstacle, diversion, and uncertain moment. If you think it's too hard, or that you can't do it, the enemy wants you to quit. However, chosen one, the moment has come to show them wrong. With each obstacle you overcome, you draw nearer to your breakthrough. The intensity of the fight would be lower if your opponent knew you were going to pull off an incredible feat. Keep your determination strong. When the going gets tough, dig in your heels. Stay put for the time being. Stay focused and not let yourself be distracted. Remember that the breakthrough is far closer than you think, just inches away. The door may seem further away than it really is, but you're getting close. You have already accomplished so much, so this obstacle is just a sign that you need to strengthen your faith, conquer it, and take your rightful place. Do not give up, no matter how much resistance you encounter. A breakthrough is waiting for you, and it's closer than you think. Lying is not going to get you beyond this door. It is impenetrable to your facade, or the self-presentation you think other people desire to see. If you want to enter this door, you need to be the healed, unashamedly honest version of yourself who has let go of crippling fear, artificial facades, and people-pleasing. This door isn't for your former self. It's for the one you emerge from after facing your challenges, overcoming the fire, and embracing how you were transformed. The only way to truly ascend is to first truly identify oneself. You are not permitted to enter this chamber in the form that you were when you were comfortable and blended in with the group. If you are the kind of person who has overcome obstacles, faced their fears, and emerged from adversity with more wisdom and purpose, then this door is for you. God has always had faith in you and your potential, and this door represents your growth and transformation. God blesses us, not for our past selves, but for the people we are becoming when He opens doors for us. You are developing into an independent young adult. You have matured into someone that doesn't blend in, doesn't play small, or hides. Embrace your authentic self and never back down from speaking your mind. Embrace your complete self, step into your divine purpose, and walk through that door with unwavering faith in your worth and the path you've traveled. Although it is not necessary for the door to be perfect, it must be authentic. Authenticity, not perfection, is what matters most. At this very moment, the world is in need of you for who you really are. Who you really are is enough and worthy. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's grace abound in your life. Whoever sows generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 9:6. When you give with faith, blessings multiply. Click the super thank you button and sow a $40 seed. Trust that His abundance will return to you in ways beyond measure. Stop keeping back. Keep your size. Come out of your shell. As you step through that door, you will experience a transformation in your life, just as God intended. This is a call to embrace who you are, what you can endure, and what makes you strong. The you who has triumphed over tragedy and other adversities will be the one to enter this door. That is the you that will come out on top. Do not play small. Now is the moment to embrace your complete self. Accept yourself and own your story, the good, the horrible, and everything in between, because that is what God wants for you. When you step foot in this room, let yourself be your most courageous self, genuine, purposeful, and self-assured. Only the genuine you can unlock this door, and once inside, a life of endless possibilities awaits. Moving into purpose, rather than just getting out of sorrow, is the last departure. It's easy to think the breakthrough is about overcoming difficulties and finding peace. But there's more to the story than meets the eye. The absence of suffering is secondary to the presence of meaning. To align with your divine purpose, to enter a season of clarity, fulfillment, and destiny, not just to catch your breath, is what you are doing when you enter this door. After you cross that line, you'll realize you needed it even before you knew it. Some previously inconceivable pieces of your life will begin to fall into place. Relationships that were previously unclear or disconnected will inevitably become clear. Everything will fall into place, and you won't even need to seek approval or create connections. You'll encounter people who encourage you and help you realize your mission. In addition to people, though, opportunities will line up. Even seemingly locked doors will open with ease. Unrealized ambitions will suddenly appear within reach, not as a result of your increased effort, but because you have assumed the right role. As soon as you step through this door, you will stop chasing and start aligning. When your focus shifts from pushing to allowing, life stops feeling like a fight and starts dancing with meaning. You'll begin to have concepts. Divine insight, inspiration, and creativity will pour into your thoughts. Once the fog lifts, everything that was previously unclear will be crystal clear. A peace that is beyond ease will settle into your spirit. Instead of only guiding you, this serenity propels you forward toward your mission. You will be directed by God to make the most impact in the regions where you are most needed. You have achieved all of this because you are now in a position of power. You have stopped trying to figure things out by yourself. By giving up, you have aligned yourself with God's purpose. From here on out, everything falls into place. As your purpose becomes apparent, a divine force greater than yourself will guide all of your actions. Peace on earth, assignments to the kingdom, heavenly alliances, and blessings for generations to come are all part of this final departure. You weren't only hoping to get something out of this room. On the opposite side are the generations that will succeed you. Your idea will have lasting impact not only in the here and now. You didn't come this far to turn around. It would be a shame to give up before moving on to the next phase after going through all that pain, difficulty, and uncertainty. By opening this door, everything is transformed. It's the transition from just getting by to really thriving, from idly meandering to strolling with purpose. After all you've been through, you'll be able to fully accept your calling at this moment. More than just an end, this exit signifies the beginning of something monumental. Stepping through this door, marks the beginning of a new chapter where all the pieces are put together. As a result of receiving spiritual direction, your life's mission becomes clearer. After passing through the fire, you are entering the fullness of God's promises. The final doorway opens to a mission that will change the course of your life and the planet at large.